Welcome to Truth of the Day with Coach Tina McCrea. I'm here to share practical principles with a biblical foundation to help empower you to live your life like it's gold.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tina McCrea, and I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of your life's transformation today. You know, have you ever heard of divine connections? We talk about it a lot, but today I'm going to introduce someone who really was a divine connection in my life. I came across Mr. Ty Carter when I was just doing a business transaction one day for my ministry, actually. And since then, for 3 years, he's been a master strategist, and he's been partnering with us, and he does this in his own business called Merchant Broker Associations. And so he helps people with their planning and their strategy. And so I want Ty to be a blessing to you today. Ty, welcome to Truth of the Day with Coach Tina McCrea.
Thanks for having me. I'm really glad to be here. As Tina said, over the last 20 years, I really spent my life really working with individuals. Our passion is really getting people from one stage of their life to the next stage of their life. So a lot of folks that come to me, they will have an idea, or they'll be stuck in their career, and they need assistance from getting from point A to point B, and there's really not a lot of those options in the marketplace. So that's what we do.
And you know, you've actually done a lunch and learn. We've done some things together in corporate America as well as our own. So you have large organizations as well as small businesses, because with AIG, we did a personal branding opportunity to help people brand themselves not only out to get a job outside, but how about inside your organization?
Absolutely.
So kind of maybe talk about that, how you help people with personal branding and to get them, they don't think about it inside their organization. They always think about how to do their resume to leave the company, but what about growing inside?
So nowadays, branding is the key word. It's a buzzword. You see it everywhere, and people really don't know what branding is. And even Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, he describes branding is what people say about you when you leave the room. So when we think about it, it's really just your reputation. So it's really going back, thinking old school thinking to teach people how to represent themselves and how to leave a really good impression. So that's what branding is about, and making sure people understand what their true talents are and their gifts are. So it is pretty divine, right? It's more than just business when it comes down to that.
That's pretty good.
Absolutely.
That's
when you think about a business, a lot of times with businesses, they might not even know the type of business that they actually are in, because the business was birthed from a passion, whether it be a baker or a restaurant or a doctor. But what are you really up to? You know, really, what are your desires? Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You know, one thing you said to me that really stuck with me, and I haven't forgotten it, and it really drove me to thinking about improving my branding, because you said you could have two people that offer the same product, but one may be even less quality, but if their marketing and branding is better than the other person, they'll outsell, outperform the other person. So the branding is really a key, right?
Yeah, that happens a lot when you think about marketing. It's who tells the better story. Some of us may think about Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and we'll have the debate on which one is better, but it's really who's done the best job marketing to you. So when you think about your personal brand or even your business, you want to make sure that you're communicating to your customer and the way that you believe that they need to know. So not necessarily about you, but your particular customer, and that's what we do. So we help you define those strategies, those hidden nuggets, as I would say, that's going to help you get further down the line as a business owner, or even as an individual. A lot of people don't know their hidden talents and their gifts, and so we spend time and have workshops, Tina, to help them figure out what makes them. Why are you so special?
Yeah, I love it, and this has really helped me and others. Ty is an amazing connector. He finds somebody and he knows a lot of people. And so he finds a person that this person is doing one thing. One young lady was doing vision boards.
Sure, absolutely.
And so I had a special way of doing vision boards, so he connected us together to do vision boards. And so we're going to be helping people to work on their vision, as we go into, we've just finished the first quarter of the year.
Yeah, we did.
And so we were talking about sports, you know, how do you be that MVP, the most valuable player? How do you have that brand to make sure you're the best, right?
Absolutely.
And so Ty and I came up with an idea about an MVP huddle. And so you want to talk a little bit about what that's going to mean. And this month, we're going to offer that in April coming up. We want to talk about the MVP huddle that we're going to offer to people who need to do a checkpoint or even reassess their first quarter?
Absolutely, and I'll go back to the sports comparison. So when you think about any major sports, let's use football for example, typically after every quarter, the head coach or the owner is pulling the team in to talk about what happened. And we really don't do that a lot in life. We get so busy, we get caught up in autopilot. And so what me and Tina will do is we're gonna have this session where individuals and organizations can come together at the checkpoint mark and figure out what they've done, what they're doing well, what they're doing not so well, and then just come up with a great game plan for the next quarter. And so the ideal is that you have a first quarter and a second quarter, you had a halfway point, and these things help you get to the next point. So you will achieve the goals that you have by knowing where you're at in the game.
Because usually when you plan a game, you know by this particular point in time in the game, you want to have this amount of score. So what is your score? In the first quarter of the year, have you met your goal? What is the score that you want to meet? And that's some things we want to do in the checkpoint. Check out your score, reassess, maybe realign the game, because the coach says, hey, we need to do some realignment, right?
Absolutely.
So there's some things that we can do to help people realign.
Right, even game plan, right? So maybe coming into this year, you had one game plan. And then when you dreamed it up and you thought about it was the master plan, but actually, as you got into the first quarter, you know, hey, I think I might have came up with the wrong plan. And the good thing about it is that the year is not over. You have an opportunity to, as you said, realign, look at what you got going on, and come up with an even better plan. And that's what we're going to help you do, because sometimes if you're too close to the plan, you can't see that you're not being effective.
Yeah, and that's true, because that's why people need a coach.
Yes.
Because the coach is standing outside, able to ask the players some questions. Instead of barking orders to them, they may give them some suggestions or ask questions. How do you think you did? What do you think you can do? So those are things that you will do well too, with asking questions.
That's so funny, because you never see a coach playing in the game. Why not? Because you can't coach and play. You're biased to the decision. So that's why when you go to the gym, you have a trainer. That trainer is going to tell you, give me one more. Not thinking about the pain or the struggle. He's just looking at the goal. So you have to partner with the right coach.
Oh my gosh! Now you know what? There may have been some pain and struggle at the end of the year, and even going into the first quarter. Some of the things you dreamed about, you may felt like you didn't see them come to pass. But it's okay to realign, to have a checkpoint. So that's the importance. When you think about a full game, that's why they have quarters and downs and things like that, so that they can stop and pause and take a look at the game and actually realign. So don't feel bad if you haven't completed something. It's an opportunity for you to take a step back.
Absolutely. I think another great point is that some of us didn't even get started yet. Some of us did not have a plan, and that would be, I like to use the analogy, as a woman, she's ready to birth that baby, and she hasn't even delivered it. She's been carrying that baby for 10 months, and it should have came in 9 months. So maybe you need to get help with a midwife or a mid-coach to get that baby out. And then when you think about from a male's perspective, maybe he has something that's keeping him up. He knows he has big dreams, but he just don't know how to structure it to get it to happen. So even for the person that has not even started the year yet, there's still opportunity for you to have a big win, to win the game at the end of the year.
You can be a playmaker.
Yes.
And we want to help you make some playmaker adjustments. So when you think about it, you can always make adjustments. Sometimes we become too rigid, Ty, and I think that's one of your areas of expertise too.
Absolutely.
And then we work together to get people to loosen up and realize it's okay to make an adjustment.
Absolutely.
I go to a chiropractor, Dr. Annette Boone. You see her, she's one of our underwriters, and she sometimes I have to go to her to get an adjustment, to get realigned. And then when you think, oh, wait a minute, and then when she snaps, I'm like, oh yeah, that feels much better. So sometimes people need a coach, or they need someone like you to come in and help look at their strategy, help them to make an adjustment.
We need help. We all do. I need a coach. Like Dr. Tina helps me out. We all have to be connected and not be so full of ourselves that we don't understand that other folks have specialties and values in other areas. So it's very important that you understand that you can do it, you're a winner, and then it's somebody else that's on that same journey as you, or they went ahead of you. So that's what this is all about. We're really trying to get the most out of every person, so you really can live your best life. That's like a tagline now.
It is, right?
We want you to live your best life, but how do you actually do that? The song is great, but it doesn't have any instructions on how you live your best life, right? So who's going to help you get that to that point?
That's true.
And that's us, right? That's what we're about.
Now talk a little bit about, you do business creation, business development. When I first met you, you was really helping major companies.
Sure, absolutely.
With business development.
You know, one thing I'll say, I've been blessed by God that I'm really good with vision and strategy, and so I have folks that will approach me from referrals, believe it or not, that say, hey, I have an idea for a business, or I have an idea for a product, not really sure the end part, but I got the beginning. And then so what I can do, again, God-given, is connect those dots, give it back to them, and then they start to work on it. And then maybe they get kind of stuck again, they come back, and we can get moving further down the line. So that's product creation, or even just a business idea, or whatever it may be. A lot of times folks just don't really know how to get, again, from A to B. They have a really great idea, and I was once told that everybody has a great idea, but what do you do with it? Do you take it in and give it to somebody for them to nourish it? I do a training that focuses on like the seed, right? You got to take care of the seed. If you think about the talent, you have to nourish it. So you got to take it to the right place to get the water and to get the sun, make sure it's in the right soil. You can't keep it in your pocket.
Right.
you gotta plant it
somewhere.
You gotta put it somewhere. So I'm hoping this is reaching somebody, but this is all about doing the work.
Yeah, and you know what? One of the things, a mastermind that we do is putting your dream to the test. And you can have a dream, and you can talk about it, and you're constantly talking about what you're going to do. But until you put it to the test and actually start doing something about it, actually put that dream down and start putting some plan to it, put some hands and feet to it, then it's only a fantasy.
Absolutely.
And so what we want to do is help people go from that fantasy place to actually putting that dream to the test, right?
Absolutely.
And so, like you said, when you take that seed, it has to go in the ground, and we know the seed's going to die, but when you wait a minute and you keep nurturing it with time, when you start really putting that time into it and writing out the vision, revising it, then you're going to see it start to grow, right?
That's right. That's absolutely right. So you got to put it into action. You got to write it down. You have to make it plain, and you got to constantly visit, which is why the MVP huddle is so important. And again, not to get it confused with like a vision board party, that type of thing. We're actually taking tangible things here to get you to the next step, to get you ready for the first quarter, and then giving you resources where you can talk or email with one of us throughout that process to make sure that you stay on par with what the goal may be.
And then follow up. A lot of times what happens is people have that one-time session with someone and get information, but then there's no follow-up. There's no opportunity to ask a question, and we'll make ourselves available in that way as well.
I think another thing on top of that is that sometimes you also need a bit of accountability coach or inspiration, because I imagine that we have some really big goals here, and so every day won't be a great day, again, attaining that goal, but you may need a phone call or email just to encourage you to go further. Again, our job will be just to remind you what's at the end of that rainbow for you, right? That's what the whole thing is about.
And you know, when you start putting the dream to the test, you end up having resources come to you. When you actually start, because you're talking about it, it becomes a part of your conversation, a part of your fiber, a part, you know, when we start working with Breaking Free, Ty's on our advisory board for the Breaking Free program and with our Trace Ministries. And Ty, you know what, at our 10th anniversary, I started talking to one of the guests about Breaking Free. You know what they said? You know what, you can start that in Marietta as well. So now we're going to, just because I was talking about the dream, now Breaking Free program is going to be in Stone Mountain and in Marietta. And it was just the resource. You don't know where your resources are. And so we'll help people talk about, hey, if you know that dream is alive when you're ready to talk about it and share it, and once you share the dream, you don't know who else is going to take the dream and run with it.
Absolutely. You talked about me being a connector. That's really how I've gained connections and relationships, is that once I learn about Without a Trace, or I learn about your vision, I tell everybody, right? I tell everybody, and every now and then you come across somebody who says, you know what? I got the other part to that. I can fit that. And for me, I keep everybody's name and number in my phone, not a new phone, and I'll send a random text. I found somebody that you need to meet.
He
just
does.
At random.
Yes,
because, again, it's important to have, I don't want to say cheerleaders, but you gotta have people that's in your life that's thinking about your business, thinking about your dream continuously, and then again, because you can't be in front of everybody at every time. So again, partner with the right, making sure you have the right circle around you. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Make sure the people that surround you is supporting that baby, that gift, that seed. And again, when they leave you, they're bragging about what you got going on. And again, to your point, you never know when you meet somebody that has what you want or need, or they can push it to somebody else.
Yes, that. You know what? I thought about, you said you don't really want to call it cheerleaders, but what really happens is you have people in your circle, and this is a time to reassess too in this first quarter.
Sure.
Who's on your team?
Who's on your team?
Who's, Samuel Chan has a book, Dr. Samuel Chan, called Who's Holding Your Ladder? Because if you don't have the right person holding your ladder, you could fall off.
Yes.
They could walk away.
Absolutely.
Anything could happen.
Sure.
And so one of the things I thought about and we have learned is that you either have people that are adding, subtracting.
That's right.
And then there's multipliers.
Yes.
So then you have some dividers.
Sure.
So who's on your team? Do you have people that are really cheering, that's adding on?
Sure.
Or are they actually deducting or reducing your vision by challenging it? It's okay to, well, how you going to do that? Well, how you going to make that happen? What plan do you, it's different to say, well, how you going to do that? Or versus, what plans do you have in place?
Absolutely.
How can I add to that?
Sure.
You know what I mean? So truly, you either have those people that's going to add or divide, take away from what you're doing.
I think there's a book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and it talks about conflict. A lot of people think that conflict is bad, but when you think about it, you don't want a team of folks that are saying, yes, that's great, that's right, keep going.
And then you run off the cliff.
And then you go, and then no, that wasn't the right way to go. You want somebody that's going to challenge you, but from a place of love, of caring and admiration. So we can teach you about how building that team properly and making sure you're putting the right people in place to further, again, your dream. And I want you to understand this is a symbiotic relationship, so you should be doing the same thing for them as well. Not just pulling. You should also be pushing back out for them. That's just building that team around you. When you think about a village, right? It takes a village even to raise your dream up.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that there.
Yeah. And now we're talking about sales and customer acquisitions. You do some things with that.
So again, a lot of times when I'm working with small to medium businesses, you got to think about it. For my business owners out there, small to medium, you wear every hat in the business. You are, and I'll use restaurant because it's an easy scenario. You make the food, you package the food, you clean the floors, you do everything. And so a lot of times businesses need help in knowing where to find additional customers, as well as they need help to know what's the best place to get other resources and things of that nature. So sales and marketing is always great. It seems like most businesses that I'm with most days, everyone is looking for great people to employ and also looking for great customers. That's the top things.
Has it been a challenge? It seems like there's a challenge. Interesting you brought up the restaurant business, but it seems like, do people have challenges employing good employees these days?
I think so. I think at least the ideal is that it's hard to find a good person. And I think when you think about the recruitment process, everything is so digital now. So it's not as if you can just meet somebody and they can get to know you and feel you and make sure that you're a great person. It goes to these databases, things of that such. So they might not get the opportunity to really know that you're a good person. So you got to put in a little hard work to find good people. So I think a lot of organizations are having that struggle, as well as millennials get some of a bad rap because they feel the perceptions that they don't want to work and things of that nature, which is not really true. The companies are not necessarily conforming to them, to their way of leadership and business. So there's just a lot of psychologists that are out there to help, again, a small business to get the right people and then also get the right customers. Because again, you want your customers to be your salespeople, telling people how great you are. Testimonials are so big and reviews about what's going on. I think I read a stat that most people, this is kind of off topic a little bit, but when somebody wants to check a price, they check it on Amazon. Like
well,
to see if it's right. That doesn't mean it's right. Amazon doesn't mean it's right. That's just their price.
That's true.
So everything is digital. So you got to make sure that you're in the marketplace, and you got to be there properly and have the right branding tools to attract your type of customer, your repeat customer.
I'm laughing because I was in Best Buy the other day, and I was about to purchase an item. I'm in the store, and I was like, let me see if this price is right. And I went to Amazon.
Amazon was more.
See, actually, tell you the truth, I have to say, I went to Amazon.
It was less?
And I was good, because I'm a Prime member, so,
Fancy Prime.
But that is interesting that you... people do that. The nature of people and how we've changed. Sometimes we resist the digital age, but then we turn around and we use it ourselves, and we're right in the store.
Absolutely.
And so, but maybe the quality, I don't know what I'm getting. It's going to get mailed to me. I'm right there in the store. I can touch it. I can feel it. So we have to think about that as we deal with people. And I think one of the things I like about what you do and what I do is that we touch people. Often we get so caught up in, like you said, the technology. Let me see what this person looks like. People can read somebody's name and make a judgment about them and not get a chance to get to know them.
That's right.
And so I think it goes back to personal branding, but not only that, businesses need a brand too. I told my daughter, who is a millennial, that, hey, honey, when you go on an interview, it's not just about them interviewing you. You need to interview them. You have values, you have things, morals, you have standards, you have a work-life balance you want to have. You need to interview them and ask them those questions. So when you think about businesses that need to bring it to, but particularly millennials too,
I think that's definitely the elephant in the room when it comes to branding as a business. Every business now is going through a rebrand, like a forced rebrand, to make sure they can appeal to every generation, every ethnicity. You got to make sure that you have something that can appease everybody. And so you want to make sure that when you're thinking about your brand, that you're thinking open, and make sure that you, again, know who your customers are, and making sure that you're able to reach out. So branding, again, to me, is just a very important thing at this climate that we're in for a business. You got to have proper branding, and you have to be in the marketplace. You have to be able to leverage social media. If you've been in business 30 years and you say, well, look, my business is great, I get a ton of referrals, but you don't do anything, that's not really the way. We're in a time where businesses have been in business for 30, 40 years are going out of business, and that's not really have happened before, and it's because of I read an article that brand loyalty is starting to change. It used to be where we're using all these names, but my dad drove a Ford, so I drive a Ford, and a lot of that's starting to change. There's not a lot of loyalty with brands. It's more so, what can you do for me at this time of purchase, and so forth. So there's a big struggle to make sure that you can keep repeat business.
Well, that's probably why you see so many incentives. I thought about when people say, what can you do for me? Well, I got this incentive, I have that incentive, I have this or that. But what we want to do is help people focus on so think about, we've talked about a lot, and particularly we focus on branding and business development, and you may be one that you are a dreamer, you are a decider, you want to shift and make sure that you have what it takes to survive in this next year. And so we want to be able to just, again, talk about that MVP huddle. It's time to come in. Who can I talk to? In a huddle, you feel safe. You feel like I can share where I'm concerned, I can share and bring. So we want to invite you out on April the 27th. We're going to, and that's a Saturday, at 9:00 a.m. We're going to be offering that MVP huddle where you can come in and talk to us about where you stand and what you're doing. And so you'll get more of that information on tinaempoweredme.com, but we want to know, what is your score? And if you don't have a vision, you don't even know, I don't know what I like. Again, this is the guy. Together we can help with that.
Absolutely.
And I think, how do I do that? We can show you how to do a vision board, how to come up with that vision and dream. I think it's going to be an awesome opportunity for you who are a business executive. You already have a plan, but you just need somebody to talk to, and we're there to help.
I think in closing, one of the things that we talk about is trying to make sure that we're able to communicate to everybody. So to think about if you're a dreamer, that puts you in a stage of you really don't have anything yet on paper, but you know you got a dream. And so we're going to help you develop that. Then you have the next stage where you're a believer, which means you have the dream, you got the idea, you maybe even got it on paper, but you got to get it to the next stage. Again, that's us. And then lastly, you're a decider. You're already in motion, and you need the right team to make sure that you get to the touchdown. So that's really what this is all about. The end goal is for everybody. And so don't be shy to reach out to Dr. Tina or myself to make sure that we can assist. And how can people reach out to you, Ty? The best way to get in contact with me is via email. It would be, the email address is info at businesspledge.com, and that's business and like pledge allegiance. So that's our pledge, is really to make sure that we're helping individuals. So info at businesspledge.com. Awesome, awesome. And so I just am so excited. I thought about how you said that we can help people. It's important in this day and time to have partnerships. Yes. It really is. When you think of the music industry, how many collaborations, some of those people who win the biggest awards is a collaborative effort. It is. A lot of people have realized that we can do better together than we can apart. Yes. And I really do appreciate our partnership. Absolutely. And how it's grown and how we want to partner with others out there. You may need a partner. And you know, some people say, well, you know, I built this business all by myself. It's a self-made. Nobody is self-made. Absolutely. Nobody does it on their own. You had somebody in your corner that supported you. They may not have funded you, but there was somebody you talked about, there was somebody you asked a question. I mean, what would you say? Your customer is your partner. If you're the self-made person, your customer. If those customers start opening your door, you know what happened? Door closed. Right. So you have to partner with somebody, and again, choosing that right somebody is probably where we come in best. But just want to meet you. Really, really excited about the opportunity. When we have the MVP huddle, I imagine that it's going to be packed. It's going to fill up pretty quickly. I mean, I've had a few people already ask me about it. So again, when the details are released, don't hesitate, don't think, just do, and then we'll take it from there. Right, right. It's going to be hosted at Without a Trace Ministries. I think we decided we was going to do it there, right there. And so you'll get the information on my website at tinaempoweredme.com. And so we are so excited to be able to help people make a difference in their dream. It's one thing I remember when I was about to deliver, you talked about having the baby, and I had my godmom there, and I felt like I was safe. I felt like somebody was there praying, somebody there was watching. Yes. Every step of the way, somebody was there helping me, because I didn't even know how to hold a baby. So you may not, you got this dream, you don't know how to do anything with it. You may even know how to hold your baby, but that's where you got great coaches, somebody like Ty, someone like myself, to help you not only build your business, review your strategy, help you to make some good decisions and quality discussions around that. So. Yes. Ty, any last statements? Again, I think you hit it on the head. I think we're going to be packed out. And again, when you reach out, again, just can't wait to meet you. This has been a great opportunity. I want to thank you for having me on, and I look forward to maybe having come on again. Oh yes, definitely. I look forward to seeing what God is doing even in you. Yes, thank you, Ty. Thank you for joining Truth of the Day with Coach Tina McCrea. Remember, reach us on tinaempoweredme.com.
To find more information about the MVP Empowerment Huddle, go to tinaempoweredme.com and register there. For more information about Breaking Free program, Apostle Gary or Apostle Tina McCrea's church, Without a Trace Ministries, join us at 2650 Young Road, Stone Mountain, Georgia, 30088. This program was underwritten by viewers just like you. For more information, go to withoutatraceministries.com and donate there.